go. All right. So for those of you who are watching on the replay, you know that front of house is all about making those early connections so that when you are in junior and senior year, you already have built yourself a long stretch of runway that you need to take off and make these college auditions a little bit easier and make your professional life just that much more foundationally prepared. So we kind of have a mix of the two here with Megan. So Megan, why don't you introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Nice to meet you, Addison, and everyone who's listening. And I'm assuming mom? Yes, mom of Addison. Nice to meet you. If at any time you can't hear me or something happens, just please unmute and tell me. I always appreciate that. I'm Megan Gillespie. Oh my God, if I could talk, that'd be great. All right, I'm Megan Gillespie, and my pronouns are she, her. And today we're going to talk about power skills for performers, and I'm going to share my screen even before I continue talking here. Let me do that. All right. And I'm gonna click this little sucker. There we go. Okay. Is this full screen for y'all now? Yes. Okay, awesome. Okay, so if you want to go to this QR code, you certainly may. This is my website, but I'll show this again at the end of the presentation today. I am a professor at Santa Monica College in their music department. I'm the founder of Megan Gillespie's Studio, where I teach singing and acting to performers who desire a career in the arts. I'm also a working opera singer, and I stage and direct musicals all the time. I've probably done over 60 at this point. And my favorite thing is seeing the aha moment that my students and my audience gets when they get it. It's my favorite thing to see. And I love to be of service. I volunteer for multiple organizations inside of my communities, multiple communities, yes. And today I'm here to give you a couple of pointers on power skills for performers, or what we used to call soft skills. So Addison, in case anybody else joins us at some point, like amazing. But if not, I'm going to ask you to like be an active participant with me. And mom, feel free to also be an active participant. So the very first thing that we're going to do, we're going to write an elevator pitch. And this is so easy. Everyone thinks that this is like super hard. It's really not. And if at any point you have, questions or comments, concerns, please don't be afraid to raise your hand, get my attention in any way, because I'm looking at the same screen you are and not your beautiful faces. So an elevator pitch, just to explain what this is, I want you to imagine that you are in an elevator with someone that you want to work with, or you want to go to their school, or whatever, and you have the amount of time that you are in the elevator with them to talk to this person and make a memorable impression. So in your elevator pitch, I'm going to ask you, Addison, and mom, if you want to do this too, like, please feel free, because this is kind of an actionable item for like a human being, not just a performer. I'm going to ask you to grab a piece of paper, or however you want to jot down some notes. And your elevator pitch can be 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 60 seconds. And you actually just saw me do mine. And I'm going to talk about what that was in just a second. When we do this exercise, all I'm going to ask you to do is write down bullet points of each of these things. So one is your name, then something that you're passionate about, something that you want to do either next or keep doing, and then your why. And if you don't know what your why is, it is my pleasure to help you figure that out while we're talking today. One of my favorite books is Start With Why by Simon Sinek. Yeah, Drew. Yeah, yes. It's a fantastic book that goes through not only finding your why, what a why is, but also seeing companies, large companies that have had success in finding their why, which then makes them continuously successful with their client base. So here, I'll give you the example of what my why is. My why in my elevator pitch that I just gave you was seeing the aha moment on my students' faces when they get it. And it really is. It's one of my favorite things to see. What I'm passionate about is being of service for sure. I volunteer a lot, and it's one of my favorite things to do. I always say, I wish I was independently wealthy because I would just volunteer all the time. And then, I gave you my name, Megan Gillespie. If you are comfortable giving your pronouns, I highly recommend you do. The business that we are in of the performing arts, this is a normal thing that you'll see a lot. And then, what did I forget? Oh yeah, what do I want to do, or what do I want to do next? I just love all of the things I do. I love being a professor. I love the studio that I built. What else did I mention? Oh yeah, the directing, all of that stuff. So Addison and Mom, I'm going to give you a minute here to write down your stuff, unless you've already done it.
I'm getting there
Okay,
slowly.
so like take 30 seconds right now. Just bullet points, doesn't have to be full sentences, okay? And then let
Mhm.
me know when you're done. Mom or Drew, any questions while we're chilling?
No, no, this is great. This is plucked out, really straightforward.
Amazing. It's all like this, so this is like my humanness.
Great.
Addison, unmute. Ask me the questions too. Involve me in what's
Oh,
happening.
like all I had down for passionate was like two things, and I was like, wait, like I don't know what else to put.
That's great. Two things is great. What are the two things?
Theater and performing. So I thought I would need something like more.
No, that's fantastic. You don't have no, you are enough. If no one's told you today, you're definitely enough. And whatever you want to put is definitely enough. How about your why?
Um, I love getting to meet people and get to perform on a stage full of people that love the same thing as me, and we're also passionate about it.
It's amazing. Yeah, fantastic. And what did you write down about what you want to do next?
I didn't write anything down, but I know what I want to do is this might be very specific, but I want to work on my mixed voice because it doesn't exist. So I want to work on that.
Okay, so you have like a really strong belt and then like the head voice, and
Mhm.
that's kind of it. Okay, cool.
In between.
All right, great. So we're gonna do a little scenario here. Let it be imperfect. Pretty please, Addison.
Okay.
Let this be imperfect because we're human, and that's the whole point. Okay. Um, and I'm just gonna give you a scenario. You're gonna meet I don't, where do you want to go to college?
Ithaca.
Okay, so pretend that I'm the head of the musical theater department at Ithaca, and we ran into each other in an elevator, and I go, "Oh, hi, Addison. Oh, I remember you from your audition. How are you doing? What's going on?"
I'm good. I'm so happy to see you. I'm very, very excited to do what I'm doing next. I love theater and I'm so excited to work on my mixed voice because I love getting to work on my mixed voice because I get to meet so many people and figure out how other people do it. And I love getting to meet people and do theater with them who are passionate about it with me.
That's a really good start. Oh, girl, I'm so proud of you. Yes, queen. The more that you can slow down just a little bit, yeah. Don't lose the excitement though. Oh my gosh, we need that so badly in life. And uh can you make it so that I have to ask you a question? This is something that adults struggle with, okay? So don't think you're going to do this right away. But it's something that instead of kind of launching into like, here's what I'm passionate about and here's what I'd like to do,
Mhm.
sometimes when I meet somebody, I'll say like, yeah, I'm really passionate about volunteering. I was just volunteering today. And like what it's okay. Like dogs are fine. It's fine.
Sorry.
So if I said I love volunteering, I was just volunteering today. It kind of leaves the door open for someone to be like, "Oh, who did you volunteer with today?" Right? So
Mhm.
can you think of a way that you can talk about either the thing that you're passionate about, or I also really loved your why to make me ask you a question about that. Try it again. This was really good. Really good. All right. Hey, Addison. Oh, it's so nice to see you.
It's nice to see you too. I was just here doing some stuff for a new show with some people who I'm really excited to meet.
Oh, wow. So, like, what's been going on with that? Tell me more about that.
I'm actually here working with some awesome people who are very passionate about theater like me.
I love that. What's coming up with that? What's coming up next?
I'm actually right now taking a class about finding my mixed voice because I'm trying to find that still.
Addison, gold stars. You just did that perfectly. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Because then that opens the door for like a conversation. You're not just like berating them with like, here is what I would like you to know about me, right? Where it's not a personal interaction. And in fact, this is like, one of the high horses that I get on about theater is like, it teaches us how to be personable humans. Ah, brava. Any questions about this?
No.
Okay, well then I kind of want to move on. Mom, Drew, anything?
No, that was really great, Addison. Like that.
Thank you.
That's not an easy concept to grasp.
No.
And that was like so smooth criminal over there.
Drew with the jokes. Okay. Yeah, Addison and Mom, I think you guys might really enjoy that book, The Starting with Why. Start with Why. Definitely go pick it up. Okay. So now we're going to do my next little thing, which is my active listening game. And again, do this imperfectly. Okay. This no worries. We're not expecting you to be God or something here. Okay. So all we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna say a sentence and you're gonna repeat it back. And if y'all don't mind, can we do all three of you? Is that okay?
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, Addison, we're gonna start with you. I'm gonna say a sentence and you're gonna repeat it back to me, okay? Okay. All right. Your timing was spot on throughout the performance.
Your timing was spot on through the performance.
All right, Mom, you ready? Your unique style and sound is truly impressive.
Your unique style and sound is truly impressive.
All right, Drew, you're up. Your sustained notes were so controlled. How do you do that?
Your sustained notes were so controlled. How do you do that?
All the theater people are so good at this. So this is very similar to like a mirror game or something like that, where you have to like be the mirror to the other person. In this game, oftentimes when someone gives us a compliment, we are thinking about how to respond instead of actively listening to what they're saying. So in this game, I like to ask these questions. Are you actively listening to the other person? Can you repeat back every single word they say? And can you pause before you answer? And then no one is entitled to your answer. So the next thing that we're going to do has to do with this last line. But before we get there, a lot of the time, people have trouble with taking a compliment. And so instead of actually listening to what someone is saying, we're coming up with a response. Or sometimes the opposite happens where someone is giving us like a note, and instead of actually listening to what they're saying, we are qualifying why we did what we did. So I want to ask you, Addison, how do you take compliments? How does this go for you?
I usually say thank you.
Amazing.
And like I'll be like yeah, I'll say thank you and I'll like nod my head.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, thank you is a complete sentence, just like the word no. And sometimes, depending on what the performance is, or if it's an audition, like, sometimes people listen outside the door, right? And they're like, Oh, I heard you through the door. You sound so good. Like, oh, or I love that piece that you sang. Yeah, or I love that piece that you performed. Oftentimes I'll be like, oh, thank you so much. Wow, it's so nice to get a compliment in an audition, you know? Whatever feels authentic to you. Because a lot of the time, our negative thoughts are getting after us, especially during auditions or after auditions, after a performance. And as much as we can, really stay in the moment, actively listen to what that person said. And all you have to do to actively listen is be able to repeat back every single word that that person said. That's it. That's the whole game. So try this, when you have another performance. When is another performance of yours coming up?
Nothing much real. I'm just starting school, so I'm still like gonna focus on school for a few weeks and then see whatever occurs next.
Okay, great, great, great. Yeah, so, try this because I'm sure your friends think you're incredibly talented. I mean, you wouldn't be hooked up with Drew if you weren't like ridiculously talented. So, whenever they tell you like, oh, I love your voice or, something like that, even if it's a really good friend, be authentic and be like, thank you so much. Oh, thanks for saying that. Thank you for coming. Thank you for enjoying the performance instead of qualifying whatever your performance was. I don't know if you've ever done this, but I used to go like, oh, I really didn't like act two, I did this thing or I missed these lines or, just the constant qualification. And we don't need to do that. And then the end of this, which is no one is entitled to your answer. So if someone asks you an inappropriate question, which is our next thing, they're not entitled to your answer. So we're about to get really uncomfortable here. Cool. Why don't you have a partner? How old are you? What's your gender? Instead of like, what are your pronouns? Do you have a partner? Can I have your number? When are you getting married? Like, these are incredibly inappropriate questions for me anyway. Other people will have their own ideas of what inappropriate means to them. And are you uncomfortable just by reading these questions or no? You're like, fine.
I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah, for sure. So now I have a real question for you. Are you uncomfortable or are you unsafe? Because that is something that soft skills or power skills is a big deal to be able to figure out for yourself, especially as a woman. So the difference for me between unsafe and uncomfortable, and again, I'm just one person out of 8 billion, you will have your own determination on this. Unsafe means that something could hurt me, while uncomfortable means that I might be uneasy, but I'm not in danger. So unsafe needs action. I need to move away. I need to do something different, whatever that is. Uncomfortable needs more pause and reflection. And as you get older, you're going to be able to figure that out. You'll be able to separate those two a lot easier. So we're going to do a little scenario now. I want you to repeat this back to me, okay, Addison? Let's say I just got out of my audition for college, and you heard me through the door, and I want you to say, "You sound so great. Aren't you a little old for college?" Oh, I know, Mom. Go for it.
You sound so great. Are you a little old for college?
Really good. So now, whenever someone asks you a question that makes you uncomfortable, not unsafe, uncomfortable, I want you to turn the attention on them. So you win this by, or you do well in this, I shouldn't say win, you do well in this by never answering the question. So the first thing is just don't answer their question. Whatever you got to do to not answer the question. You can literally just walk away from somebody if you really need to, okay? But a lot of the time, these inappropriate questions happen in moments when we're not expecting them. We feel totally safe. Or like you just got out of an audition, you feel great. You're like, oh, life is amazing. I just did beautifully in there, you know. And so our adrenaline is running, like, you know, we feel good. And then someone asks you, you know, something so inappropriate, like, can I have your number? And then you're like, wait, I wasn't expecting that. Like, how am I supposed to, what am I supposed to do? So first things first, do not answer the question. Then you get bonus points if you ask them a question in response to their question. You get double bonus points if you ask them a question about their question. And you get triple bonus points if you challenge the validity of their question. So in other words, are they allowed to ask you that? So we're going to try this one more time. I'm going to give you the examples of this, okay? So can you ask me that question again? You're going to say, oh, you sounded so good through the door. Aren't you a little old for college?
Oh, you sound so good through the door. Aren't you a little old for college?
I don't know. Don't answer the question, right? That's number one. Don't answer the question. Do it again. I'm going to do it where I'm going to ask you a question in response. Cool? Aren't you a little old for college?
You sound great through the door. Aren't you a little old for college?
Oh, how old are you?
Oh, I'm 14.
And so again, like as much as you can practice this, like maybe Mom and Addison, you guys can practice this together. That would be great. Because especially as women, we're like, and girls, we're primed to answer people's questions. It's like what we are taught. Please try to not do this. Okay. So even in my asking you a question now, try it. Okay. Because it's tough. Like this is so hard. I gave Drew all the hard stuff. He was like, yeah, bring it. Okay. All right. You want to try it again? I'm going to ask you a question about the question. Okay. And always remember, you are allowed to pause. You're allowed to not answer a question. You're literally allowed to leave the frame and walk away. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Cool? Mm-hmm. You keep you safe no matter what. You are most important. All right. Ask me again how old if I'm too old for college.
Are you too old for college?
Wow, did you ask anybody else this question today? Yes, good job. Yay. Yes, just don't answer the question. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good job. All right. And the last one, challenge the validity of their question. All right. Ask me one more time. Aren't you a little old for college?
Aren't you a little old for college?
I don't know if you've asked anybody else this question, but it was really nice to meet you.
It was nice meeting you too.
See, exactly. And so the point of this is not to challenge someone. The point of this is not to make the other person uncomfortable. The point of this is not to, you know, go out of your values, right? Which mine are like kindness, empathy, you know, oh my God, I'm forgetting the word in this moment, but like authenticity, you know, being honest. It's to stay in those values and yet not just allow people to kind of push you around. Okay. Does this make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you want to try one?
Sure.
We're going to do something really weird. I'm going to ask you for your number because you're 14 and this is hopefully is not happening now, but you know, at some point in life it will. Okay. Is that okay, Mom? Mm-hmm. Okay. So you can do anything except give me your number. Okay. Okay. And try to stay kind while you do it, because I'm telling you, it can be like donors. I've had donors do like super inappropriate stuff like this. And those are people that I have to keep a good relationship with. Yeah. But I'm not going to give that person my number. All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, your performance was so amazing. I just loved everything you did. Can I have your number?
You can contact me better on Instagram because I have my website and my YouTube there. So if you want to see more, you can go through there. My number is very personal. So if you want to reach out to me professionally, my professional stuff is on my Instagram, which is my name.
Brava. Best answer yet. All right, I'm going to challenge you a little bit more. Is that okay?
Okay.
Oh, I don't have Instagram. I don't have it. Just give me your number.
Oh, you could just look me up on Google. I come up just on Google. Right there. Put my name in and I'm on Google.
But if I look you up on Google, like I can't like contact you. I want to contact you. Like we should just give me your number.
What's the best way I can contact you? Do you have an email?
Oh, this girl's gonna win at life. Excellent, Addison. Excellent. One of my favorite ones is I had somebody once ask me, I'm not on Instagram. Just give me your number. And I said, oh, well, it sounds like you should really get Instagram. And something else just that I noticed, first of all, you just did this like beautifully. I would not change a single thing. Something you might want to think about in the future is less words. So if you tell them, just, look me up on Google. That's how you can find me. Period. End of sentence.
Okay.
I'm so proud of you. Oh my gosh, you're very mature for your age. Okay. So now we're gonna play the audience game. Oh, and I've got another book recommendation, so I'll give you that before we do the audience game. It's called The Gift of Fear by Gavin de Becker. And Addison, I don't know, Mom, I want you to look up the book before she reads it. Not that I think that anything in there is super inappropriate, but I don't know that I've ever given this book to a 14-year-old before. I give it to my 16 and aboves. And what it does is it talks about here's what I'll say. It taught me to walk into every situation trusting everyone until they show me otherwise. And then to trust my instincts. And it's a great book. So The Gift of Fear by Gavin de Becker. All right. So the audience game is there was a study done by a Harvard business professor. He had his students in one classroom think of one thing that they needed and then get into groups, like little groups, and chat, just talk. And some of them brought up the thing and some of them didn't. And then he had them switch groups. And by the time they switched into the third group, everyone had their need met. So I want you to think of something that you need or want right now. In fact, you already gave me one, which is I want a stronger mixed voice. Yeah. So you could use that. You can use whatever you want. Okay. But we're going to kind of go through and do this little exercise. Is Drew back? Okay, he's here. Okay, cool. Do you mind joining us for this?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're going to have a conversation about performing. You can literally talk about anything you want, and I'll join in with y'all. And Drew, if you would think of something that you want, Mom, if you would think of something that you want, and if you want me to call you by your actual name, Mom, I'm happy to do that. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah, my first name is Katie.
Katie, thank you, Katie. And within the first couple of minutes of this exercise, I want each of us to try to work in what the thing is that we want in an authentic way. So meaning that you don't have to change the subject in order to work this in to the conversation. And I'll show you what I mean. So I want you, once again, Addison, to go with me in a scenario where we're going to pretend that you just performed and we're talking after one of your performances. Cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you were amazing. Your voice is thrilling. It reminds me of Julie Andrews. I just love it so much. And this outfit, look at this dress. I love the color blue on you. It's really close to the color of my current car. It's like really close. And I'm shopping for a new car, and you're making me think that maybe I just need to stick to that color and like keep the same color when I get a new car. Anyway, you were fabulous. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So let's try this. You can use your elevator pitch, you can use your active listening skills. And then the other thing that I always tell people is to get curious. So, you know how I was like, okay, tell me less so that I have to ask you a question? Kind of same deal here. Like if one person says something that kind of sparks your interest, definitely ask questions about it. Get curious. Cool?
Yeah.
All right. So no scenario, I don't really know you. So I'm going to start asking questions. And if at any point, right, the questions get uncomfortable, try the thing from the last exercise. You have no need to answer anybody's question. No one is entitled to your answers. Cool?
Got it.
Groovy. All right. So I don't know. Mom, Katie, yes?
Yes,
Katie, tell me what you do.
I'm a physical therapist, and I provide home care to Medicare patients in their
Wow.
homes.
Okay. So Addison, how did you start singing then if mom does more, medical?
When I was younger, I always used to sing on like our coffee table, like to Disney songs. I used to put on performances. So I started doing voice lessons, and that's how I got into it. And I used to do pageants, and that's how I got my manager, was through pageants.
Oh, wow. I used to do pageants too. Yeah. I train all of my students to do the I am method instead of the my name is, and that was something I learned in pageants years and years and years ago. That's so cool. So what's is your talent singing then when you do pageants?
I did them when I was really young. So it was a lot of like walk down the runway, look both ways, walk back up. That was it.
And smile, yeah, at the
Yeah,
end. Oh,
basically.
okay. Very cool. Very cool. All right. And Drew, how did you end up starting the company that you run?
I was doing a show. I was doing Sound of Music up at Sierra Rep, which is by Yosemite. It's a small, small town with a professional theater company in it. And we were all out at Applebee's, which is the only place that's open after 10 in town. And our Maria was getting like appetizers and jello shots and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, hang on a minute. I know your equity, but I know what you make, and it ain't that much more than what I'm making. How the heck are you affording all this stuff? And she was like, well, I have a little side hustle where I help kids with their college auditions. And I was like, what a good idea. And then I marinated on it for about a year. And then I went, I bet I can do that. And then voila.
And the concept was formed. That's
And the
amazing.
concept was formed. That's right. And it's what it's done is it has allowed me to fulfill my artistic creative needs while also having a little bit of a like adult life. The like, I'm currently shopping for a house right now, and like I have that ability, and I wouldn't have otherwise if I was just gigging.
Yeah, for sure. I always say like I have like 30 different jobs. And it does, it not only affords me the lifestyle, that I want financially, but also it affords me the creative lifestyle that I want as well. That's
Yeah,
really cool.
totally.
Hmm.
Addison, do you have siblings?
I do. I have one younger brother, Lucas, and he is completely into baseball.
Oh, cool.
Oh. So was there ever a time that you were on the same path that like you were a jock or he was a theater kid?
No, never. He did one show at our local youth center, and he liked it, and he was gonna do I think another one, but he only promised to do it if my friend did it, and he ended up not doing it. So my brother was like, I'm not doing it if he's not doing it. So
The
yeah.
man knows his limits. I get it. I can
But
respect that.
he loves seeing shows. He doesn't love he won't sit through some of my shows, but he loves seeing the Disney shows on the cruise line.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
cool. Yeah, of course. Okay, so did we I know Drew did worked in what, more of your elevator pitch, which is cool. But Addison, did you end up giving us something that you are looking for or want or need?
No, I was going to, and then I was like I couldn't like get it in there.
So what was it?
I was going to do because I was talking about um singing to singing on the coffee table
Yeah.
and like to the princesses, and I was like, oh, I want to work on the Disney Cruise Line, but that like didn't fit in.
Well,
I didn't know
cool.
how to.
Okay, so can you go back and tell us that story again and then try and add this tagline to the end of it?
Because I started when I was really little. I loved sitting on the coffee table and singing Disney princess songs. And I've gone on many Disney cruises, and my dream is to be a Disney Cruise Line performer. So that's when I started really young. It's just singing on the coffee table, and I begged my parents to let me start singing lessons, and they let me.
Brava. Oh, she's such a quick. You're so
Yeah.
fast. Everything
Thank
is
you.
fast. This is so easy for you. Okay, well, fantastic. All right. Well, that this was the audience game. And so the more that you can
Mm.
find the positive comments, ask questions, notice if you're dominating the conversation, which I don't really think any of us did. Are you actively listening? Are you asking questions? Are you sharing authentically? Are you getting the point across of like why you're talking to these people, which in general for me actually is just curiosity. Like I am genuinely curious about other humans. And yeah, oh, thank you, Drew. Um, and so like you know by getting curious with others, it can lead to a lot of what we just talked about, finding what you want out of a conversation by just asking some questions. All right, cool. We're going to go over some tools now because you got this and I believe in you because that's what the slide says. LOL. Okay, so this is my 24 hours of good rule. 24 hours of good means after an audition or a performance, you are only allowed to say positive things to yourself. Addison, do you have a negative monologue in your head ever? Or does your mind kind of go blank when you sing? Or what goes on in there?
When I sing, I'm very positive. Like
Oh,
I'm very like, well, I mean, like if I screw up, I know I screwed up, and I'm like, shoot, she wasn't supposed to do that. But I'm very positive and very happy
okay,
when I'm
cool.
singing. I love it, and it's just like I'm not ever like singing and I'm like, oh my god, this was this like I know like if I screw something up, I'll think like, oh, I didn't do that very well. But like normally, even like with a little thing, something goes wrong. I'm like, well, the rest was good. Like I knew the words. Like I try to stay positive.
Stay in the pot. Okay, well, that's great. That's basically what this rule is. That for 24 hours, and this is just something I have my students work on all the time, after their lesson, after a performance, after an audition, for 24 hours, they are not allowed to say anything negative about what they did because a lot of students, a lot of people, not just, people who are studying, tend towards the negative or they tend towards what they could fix. And I got to tell you that for the rest of your life, you are going to be hearing things that you can fix. And so the more that you can adhere to this rule of, okay, I'm just going to tell myself the great stuff I did for the next 24 hours, then when you hit the 24-hour mark, the things that you say to yourself will likely be much more honest. It won't be blown out of proportion. It won't be, oh, that was terrible. Oh, I really wish I had done this instead, or whatever. It might be more like, oh, I could have breathed better for that phrase. Yeah,
Mhm.
maybe I'll over enunciate. Maybe that song wasn't for this audition. Whatever. Yeah,
Mhm.
it gets a little bit
Yeah.
more true when we wait. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, cool. Try this week or whenever you have another audition or sing or whatever. All right. This is one of my favorite ones. It is breathe because yeah. While you are waiting to sing, breathe deeply. Just take nice deep breaths into your body and breathe all the air out of your body. And I'm going to show you how this works. So if you would all right now, please get comfortable wherever you are. And if you can, put your feet on the floor. And you're going to take a hand, and you can just follow my instructions if you want. So you can close your eyes if you want, or unfocus your gaze, whatever makes you feel comfortable. And I want you to take a hand and put it on your upper chest. And we're just going to breathe into our hand, into our upper chest, in through the nose, and out. And take that same hand and put it on your upper belly. Same deal, in through the nose and out. Same hand, put it on your lower belly. This is going to be a little bit of a deeper breath in through the nose and out. Take your hand, put them on your thighs. This is the upper part of your legs, in through the nose and out. And now I want you to do is think about your calves. This is the lower half of the back of your legs. There's no air there, but you're just going to breathe into them, in through the nose, into your calves. And out. Think about the soles of your feet on the floor or in your shoes. A nice, deep, long, calm breath into the soles of your feet, in through the nose. Hold. Hold this air. And out. Maybe your hands are still on your thighs. Breathe into your thighs again, in through the nose, a little bit shorter breath. And out. Take one hand, put it on your lower belly, into the hand. And out. All the air, all of it. Take that same hand, upper belly, in through the nose. And out. Very short breath this time. Hand on the upper chest, into the hand. Hold this air. Keep holding. Keep holding. And now open your eyes and talk to me. Say hi, Megan.
Hi,
Hi.
Megan.
How are you?
How are you?
What's going
How are
on?
you? What's going on?
How was your day?
Good. How about you?
Okay, and now breathe. What was interesting is, Addison, you just breathed out to breathe in. So you had like extra air in that. That was very cool. So what this teaches us is that the more that we do deep breathing before we even step on the stage, it's going to help our breath for singing, for talking, because we're filling our bodies and also our cells with oxygen. And the more that we do that, the easier this all becomes. So definitely deep breathe while you are waiting to sing. All right.
You know what's so interesting about that, Megan, was that when we breathed into the soles of our feet, I swear to God, my lung capacity just about tripled. Like that was just incredible.
It really happens to a lot of people. The one that I use now, because I've been using this for many, many years, if I'm on another floor of a building, I think
Yeah.
about breathing into the floor beneath me.
Oh, that's so good.
And when I'm on the ground floor, I think about breathing into like, I don't remember what it's called, but like a part of the earth. Can I
Yeah.
breathe into the core of the earth? Can I
Yeah.
breathe into the other side of the earth? It's wild what happens because,
Wow.
our lungs are only like here, like that's it, right? It's like here and that's it. But the mindset, it's all
Yeah.
about mindset, is what you
Yeah.
can do for that breath. That's really cool. I'm glad you had that experience.
Yeah.
Cool. Questions, comments, concerns before I move on? Basta così. Okay, amazing. So this is one of my all-time favorite assignments to give my college students. It is the positive follow-up email. If you ever attend a concert, if you ever go to Ithaca and see anything that they do, if you have a lesson with a teacher at Ithaca, if I don't know, you get a tour from somebody, at a college, write them a positive feedback email. And it only has to be 10 sentences or less. And if you use ChatGPT and you're in my classes, you get extra credit. You do just have to edit it. So ChatGPT is a fantastic tool. I really enjoy it. You can tell it exactly what you want. So you can say, act as a writer and write me a positive email that is about this performance I saw, and write it to this person. You can only write positive things, and please include the dancing was really solid. I loved this particular character singing. Include the names of these people who produced it or directed it, and make it 10 sentences or less. You click enter, it will literally give you an email, okay, of 10 sentences or less. And then all you have to do is read it and edit it. So be sure, whatever you put into ChatGPT, you just be sure to edit it. I do this all the time. And Drew, be expected to get an email from me after this.
We actually have our own ChatGPT that is designed to use my voice. It has the knowledge base of what College Audition Pros does. And I said things like, you can speak like this person with the tone of X, Y, and Z. And it makes, especially when you're tired, Addison, it makes starting an email or it makes starting something, you're like, oh, that's what I meant to say. Now let me edit it to be my real voice.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's amazing what it will do, because once it gives you an email as well, you can say, can you make this sound more professional, or make this sound more professional, or make this shorter, make this longer, embellish this more, use a different word here, and it will just do it. Yeah. I love ChatGPT. It's amazing. My favorite little story about doing this is when I first started at SMC, I went to every performance I could. I saw all of the students do all of the things and saw all of my colleagues and what they were doing, just so I could have a better understanding of what was expected of me. Well, after every single performance I went to, I would write them a thank you note. Every single person whose email address I could find, and say, please feel free to share this with your students. And I would write them positive feedback emails with nothing negative in it. Because what it taught me is how to be looking for the positive on stage. Because I'm a teacher. It's literally my job to be like, this could have been better, this could have been different, right? And so instead, teaching myself to look for the positive things, to then submit that to the people who produced the show and did all the hard work. It's been amazing. And what was interesting is that for the first year, I did this for every show. And then a year later, I met somebody who had only ever gotten my emails. And she was like, wait, you're the Megan who sends me the emails, right? And I was like, oh yeah, that's me. Oh, it's so nice to meet you. Yes, yeah. And so now we have a rapport, even without me ever having met her before.
Oh, yeah. This is so good.
Amazing. Cool. Questions, comments, concerns? Basta. Okay, cool. And I've got a few minutes left, so I'm going to talk real quick about how to talk to a pianist. So the first thing is to just treat your pianist like a human. When you're in an audition, you cannot control anything anymore. You've done the work to get to that place. Let go. Okay. So you put your music in front of that person and then go over the cuts with them, or like, this is where I start. I take a little bit of extra time here. I'm going to finish up here, right? And then take one or two steps away from them to then sing your rhythm to them. Never snap, never clap, right? You've heard these things before? Yeah, you're like, duh. Okay, amazing. Before I even put the music in front of them, I always like have a really short conversation. I always say like, oh, hi, I'm Megan. It's really nice to meet you. What's your name? Pianists, oftentimes they get treated like a piece of furniture. It's like super true. And I do my best to actually remember their name as well, because I never know when I'm going to run into somebody again, or, want to actually employ them, because, I'm a casting director too. So sometimes I need more pianists than I already have. So, asking them, what's your name? Oh, I'm so-and-so. Thank you so much for playing for me today. Really appreciate your time. Okay, so here's what we're going to be doing, right? You go over the things. I take a couple steps away. And then before you sing to them, this was really difficult for me. Hear your song in your head to get your tempo. So Addison, what's a song you sing?
For the First Time in Forever.
So if I sing to him, for the first time in forever, there'll be music, there'll be lies, for the first time in forever. Is that the tempo of your piece? Okay,
No.
cool. Hear it in your head, sing it to me how you want me to play it.
For the first time in forever, they'll be
do, 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 do. Sometimes they'll snap it, sometimes they'll just start playing and see if that's the tempo you want, yeah? Also, like, I think in that song, is the verse a little faster? Yeah, it is. Oh, no, it's just like a different meter, right? I don't remember. Anyway, I'll have to look at it. But it feels, what are the first words of that song?
The window is open, so is that door.
Yeah. So if you gave me, the window is open, so's that door. I didn't know anymore. Too fast or too slow? Or just right?
Or just right.
Okay, well then great. Thank you. And you never know also like what kind of day the pianist is having. So just never assume it is about you. Never take anything personally in the audition room. And very likely it is not about you. Yeah. Okay. And then just don't stop singing. Once you get up there and you slate, hi, I'm Madison, and I'm gonna sing for the first time in forever from Frozen by, well, it's like the Rogers, right, or something. It's like a married couple.
Oh my God, their names.
Yeah.
They're married. Lopez.
Lopez.
Robert Lopez.
Yeah. By Lopez. After you do that, the person who's playing for you no longer exists. Okay. Whatever they play, you just keep going. You just keep singing. Even if they play something completely else, even if they stop playing, you just keep singing. You're like, yeah, Megan, I've heard this before. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. And just don't look at them. That's it. All right. Questions about this?
Nope.
All right. Awesome. That's it. We're done. So thank you so much for listening to me today and for allowing me to be a very small part of your life. And feel free to contact me through the website. If you want to try, you can hold your phone up and take my website through the QR code if you want. But feel free to write me on my website one of these positive emails if you want, and I will write you back and say, oh, thank you so much for the positive email. You can just try it out, because like no pressure, but I'm just saying if you wanted to try. And my last little thing here, what do you call a conflict between composers?
Oh, I think I know this.
A debacle! Okay, thanks so much.
There we go.
Yeah, get that QR code, Katie.
Yes, I have it.
Awesome. Sweet. So Megan will be back later in the year to talk about Spotlight, which is a how do we put it?
It's a performing arts competition for kids who are in high school. Can you grab that one too?
Okay, yeah, hold on.
Let's see if it'll work if I hold very still.
Yeah,
Yep,
look
it
at that.
works. It works.
That's
Hey.
incredible.
Oh, wait, hold on,
One more time.
Bring it back up. It works, but then it won't.
Maybe.
Eh,
Well,
hold on. One more
it's
time.
a performing arts competition for high school students in Southern California.
You might need to hold on.
So if you do this competition, all you have to do is record one video and then send it in with your application. And you get feedback from industry professionals, such as myself. I'm also a judge for this competition. And other people, who are much more famous than me. And then if you progress onward, the highest amount of money that you can win is $5,000 for being a finalist. If you just apply every single year for 4 years, it looks great on an application for college. And if you are and if you win, like, even better. The other one that you could do next year is Young Arts. So go look up youngarts.org as well. And there's similar competitions, but Young Arts is nationwide, and Spotlight is just for Southern California students. Groovy.
All right, y'all. Well, I know it's getting late over there. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you, Megan, for being here. And Valentina's going to be sending you out the info for, we're having our next front of house. I don't remember who the chair is, but it's a chair of a college program in September. So it'll be a little bit sooner because we're doing Megan here at the end of August and somebody else right in the middle of September.
Okay, great.
All right, y'all. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks, Megan. Bye-bye.
Bye.